I guess you could say Kakarot plays rough? Hey guys, DB Rai here, and today we are back with a what if that's actually been quite requested since I did part 1, and so I thought, yeah, had some time, got all the reference art finished, so why not, let's just go ahead and make the video now. And today I am continuing with what if Goku was like Broly? I would have to say that so far, this is the most discussed what if on this channel. I've noticed this what if did get a bit of a rah response from my audience, and that's pretty cool, I'll be honest. And again, thank you guys for all your feedback, and especially those who actually called me out on some facts that I may have gotten wrong in the what if, and that's pretty cool. I like hearing those types of feedback. It's it's only going to help me in future what ifs. When I do, because sometimes when it comes to finding things in the when you research things, you can't always find everything and all the little references that are canon and what isn't. And it can be tricky to decipher between the two. Especially when you have someone who keeps changing how the origins of characters go down, and yeah, it can be a bit of a confusing mess. But that's perfectly fine. So those of you who really are actually enjoying this what if, heads up, there is going to be a slight change to what I did with part 1. Now, with part 1, I wasn't exactly clear on Kakarot's motivations to what he does. And I know I actually skipped out on this during the first part, just to clarify that pretty much everyone that Kakarot has killed at this point, including the Ox King and Grandpa Gohan, they've all been accidents. Now, is he a Saiyan, and is it possible that he could end up conquering the planet like any Saiyan probably would? Yes, but that also depends, I reckon, on upbringing. And the fact is, Kakarot does not have Grandpa Gohan to raise him this time, because he accidentally took Grandpa Gohan out when when all his latent potential power accidentally got unleashed while he was crying, and he accidentally fired a ki blast through the old man's chest. And when he's going through his life growing up, him destroying these villages, this just could be due to the fact that he has no money and can't pay for his food, and suddenly he gets a little grumpy and angry, and suddenly there goes his latent potential, bye-bye village. Because so far, every time Goku's used his latent abilities, after every use, he's pretty much passed out afterwards. He doesn't remember much. It's Kakarot. Kakarot's always been a bit like that. So, anyway, I hope this bit of a change is to everyone's liking. If not, let me know in the comments. I think it's a really small change. I don't think you'd really notice it, considering what I was actually going for. So when we last left Kakarot, he had beaten and killed the Ox King, and you could argue that was actually self-defense. Kakarot having a look around, I was keen on fighting the Ox King. I mean, the Ox King was the strongest fighter he had come across up until then, and with that, Kakarot would have gotten into the fight, and his latent potential, which he cannot control, would have taken over, and poor Ox King, poor Chi-Chi. So after that, Kakarot basically come to, no Ox King in sight, and just pretty much moved on, and he eventually ended up at Pilaf's palace looking for something to eat. He got trapped in Pilaf's little maze thing, and he eventually escaped that room. When he looked up at the full moon and turned into Ozaru and trash the place in a pretty much similar fashion that he does in the original. And funny enough, he actually missed the kitchen, so he helped himself to Emperor Pilaf's food. You know, a Kakarot in any timeline is still Kakarot. One day, while Kakarot was wandering around, he ran into some villagers who were being harassed by that big bear-like monster. You know, the one that tries to kill Turtle in Dragon Ball? Yeah, that one. And Kakarot actually stepped in and defended the villagers. You know, he thought, oh, this big bear guy looks strong, maybe he'll put up a decent fight. No, he did not. And villagers are all thanking Kakarot, and he's all, I didn't do this to help you, I just wanted a good fight, that's all. But the villagers were grateful, nevertheless, something different, something Kakarot is not really used to, and they actually give him the royal treatment and actually treat him to a bunch of food. After that, someone actually brings up the World Martial Arts Tournament, asking Kakarot if he was going to compete, because they actually reckon he'd do really well in the World Martial Arts Tournament. World Martial Arts Tournament? What's that? Oh, you know, it's when the best fighters gather together and they have a big championship tournament to decide who's the best. All the best fighters will be there. I reckon you'd be pretty good at that, boy. Well, that does sound kind of fun. Where is this World Martial Arts Tournament? Well, they usually hold it up on Papaya Island. You may have to catch a plane there. Is that a plane? What's a plane? Everyone just drops down. You know, that hilarious anime fashion. Kakarot is still pretty much silly. He was raised in the woods, and this time Grandpa Gohan wasn't really there to really teach him anything. So, in a way, Kakarot is even more dumber than he is in the original. A bit more denser. Which, I don't know, how could you make Kakarot become any more denser? Well, we're gonna try. So with that, Kakarot could not figure out how to book a plane or anything like that, because, like I said, he pretty much roughs it, lives off the land. He has no money. So, he actually swims across the world, much like he does in the original during the second World Martial Arts Tournament he enters. But we're getting that a little bit early. Goku's swimming around the world, people pointing him in the direction of Papaya Island. Goku's pretty much able to handle that, because whenever he pretty much got tired, his latent potential would just kick in and he'd power across to the other side of the island, no problem. And from there, Kakarot actually enters the tournament. And he actually goes through the preliminaries. This is where he meets up with Krillin, Yamcha, and Jackie Chan, who is the disguised Roshi. Yes, Jackie Chan is still in the tournament, and so is Krillin. Kakarot may not have showed up at the island to do training with Roshi, but Krillin still did, and Roshi still agreed to take Krillin on as a pupil, and Yamcha, well, alright, so yes, we've got Krillin, Roshi, and Yamcha, who are also there for the tournament, and the preliminaries go pretty much like in the original, except Goku's a bit more rougher with his opponents. And yeah, a lot of his strikes aren't as laid back as his original counterpart would have, and some of his opponents end up getting, you know, quite badly hurt because of this. And this sort of terrifies Krillin a little bit, and Yamcha, who are sort of watching. But then something actually interesting begins to happen. Kakarot witnesses Krillin's old former fellow students, you know, those three idiots from the monastery where Krillin studied before he finds Master Roshi. Yeah, those idiots. He witnesses them picking on him, and Kakarot actually stands up for Krillin. Krillin can actually, not Krillin, Kakarot has learned to sense energy to a certain extent, and he can already tell that Krillin is a lot stronger than these guys, so he's not entirely sure why Krillin's letting these guys walk all over him. And that's because, due to the fact Krillin does not yet realize how strong he actually is. And when Krillin gets called up to have his fight with that student who picks on him, Kakarot says, "Hey, don't hold back. Give this guy what he deserves."
Okay.
Krillin actually quickly figures out how strong he actually is and goes at that guy full force, and well, yeah, that guy is taking a trip to the emergency room, and Krillin is starting to show a bit of self-confidence because of that. And he actually full on thanks Kakarot for the advice, and I don't know, they actually get to talking and actually getting along for a certain bit, and Krillin tells him how he's been studying with Master Roshi and all that, and Kakarot tells Krillin a bit about himself. He goes from land to land, he's fought some strong guys. Does he tell him about the wrecked villages? Well, in a way, Kakarot doesn't actually really remember much about that. He knows he got a little riled up, got a little grumpy, but whenever his latent potential kicked in, he'd basically just pass out. He'd black out. He does basically just tell Krillin that bad luck seems to follow him wherever he goes. Jackie Chan hasn't spoken to Kakarot at all. In fact, he's actually quite curious and concerned. Boy with a tail who can fight like this is actually very familiar to Roshi, who has heard rumours about a boy with a tail who has gone around terrorising villages and has killed both of his pupils. Could this be the same boy? This is what Roshi's thinking. And once we head into the finals of the tournament, where Kakarot is tested a bit more and showing off more of his fighting abilities, with Jackie Chan actually watching, where Goku actually battles with Giran, the big dinosaur monster. He beats Giran easily, a lot easier than his counterpart did, because this Kakarot does not hold back or play around. Kakarot takes his fighting very seriously, and after observing Kakarot during his first two matches against Giran and then against Nam, Roshi has clicked on that his moves are actually resemble that of the Turtle Hermit School, which Kakarot picked up when he was battling with the Ox King. Because just like Broly, remember, he learns to fight as he goes. Jackie Chan has realized that this kid is the same one who took out Gohan and the Ox King. So now Roshi's sort of a bit confused on what he's going to do when their fight starts. Is he going to kill this child, or is he just simply going to beat him in the tournament? Honestly, Roshi doesn't actually know what he's going to do. He has heard rumours about what the Ox King was doing too, so it could be argued that this kid maybe killed the Ox King in self-defense, but that doesn't explain Gohan, does it? Who's always been a nice guy, So, and Roshi can't have this kid going around terrorizing villages and destroying villages. So it's sort of a moral dilemma for the disguised Master Roshi. Let me know, guys. Let me know in the comments what you actually would. Actually, in fact, I think I'll leave a poll here. What does Jackie Chan do in this final match of the tournament going up against Kakarot? Does he indeed try to kill Kakarot and get revenge for his fallen students, or does he fight him with the mentality of just beating him in the tournament and just assessing what his power is like? What is Jackie Chan going to do here? Is he going to be out for blood in this battle, or is he just going to carefully assess the situation before he makes his final decision? Fight Kakarot in the tournament, then decide what to do with him later. Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to vote on the poll on that one. And we'll be back with What If Goku Was Like Broly Part 3. And I hope you guys do like the small change I made. Alright, guys, I'll catch you later.